recommendations are becoming the key to finding pretty much everything on the internet. More than half of news is found through friends and family. 90% of music is found through friends and family. More so than, that's people are now trusting their social graph more than music critics, not surprisingly. 60% of people use the internet while they're watching television. And what television shows we watch is part of our identity. We choose shows and we post shows on our Facebook profile and other public places on the internet, and that's part of what helps define you. So, for me, this is what I just took off the top of my profile: Modern Family, 30 Rock, Entourage, Colbert, and Weeds. And then I've got a ton of other shows below that. Television shows, TV shows, is a permanent part of your Facebook profile, and it's one of the most filled-in profile attributes that people have. So it's really important to helping define your identity. And so what Facebook really offers is the ability to share word of mouth at scale. So we have, we've announced 500 million users around the world. And this is just an example. For my newsfeed, the afternoon before Glee, I saw a bunch of my friends. This is just a couple examples that were really excited to watch the show. One, maybe TMI, because he was looking forward to cuddling with his wife. I was like, really? Do I need to think about that? But Simon, much better with, I really can't wait to watch Glee tonight, which I'm more comfortable with. So people are using Facebook and other social networks to get excited and share their excitement around television shows. And then also during the shows, and this is just looking at across all of Facebook and what kind of discussions were happening. This just shows the kind of the activity around Glee during their episodes. So you can see, certain episodes spiked, and that had moments that people felt they wanted to talk about and share with their social graph through their friends and family. So really, what is a solitary experience watching television? We think is much more fun and interesting when you watch with your friends. And so it used to be you used to have to sit in a room and watch with friends, but now you can actually have shared experiences through Facebook and again through other social networks. So really, I think that the television guide is probably the best example. So for the most part, certainly on television, you sit in front of a television guide and you passively see what's on, and you don't have any filter to see that through it. And what we think is, certainly happening, and with products like Social Guide that Sean is developing and some others, is that you're going to turn on your TV, and the first thing you're going to see are your social recommendations. So you might see a college professor that you maintain a relationship is recommending a certain 60 Minutes episode for you to watch. You might see your friend who loves sports, is telling you that this is a really important particular game to watch. So across the spectrum, you're going to look to people just like you do in the real world, and we think Facebook is really just a reflection of your real world. You're going to turn to certain people to look for recommendations about what you want to watch. So we think this will be integrated into set-top boxes. Again, it's already happening on a number of websites. And more, we think that people are going to really use our APIs and bring the social graph to bear to help make television recommendations. So we talked about awareness and intent. So I'm just going to give you guys a few examples. Somebody said on the panel earlier that nobody really knows what people want at this point and what the best experiences are, and I think that's very, very, very true. And what we think works best with our platform is just to try a bunch of things and see what works and do more of that, and see what doesn't work and do less of that, obviously. But people like Jesse and we'll talk about their example, and folks across television are starting to really try and figure out how to bring the social network and bring the social graph to bear to create fun and interesting and meaningful television experiences. So this is an example, a website called Clicker. So they use Facebook Connect, and what they'll do is they'll show you content across the internet, television and video content across the internet that's relevant to you. So once you connect, it will show you shows that are on based on things that you like in your profile. So we'll use our API, suck in profile attributes, and expose content that way. It'll show you shows that your friends like, because presumably in certain friends that like things, you're going to like those shows too. So I think Clicker's a really fun and interesting example. This is an example from the UK where they created a game to a complement to their television show. And Endemol, the production company, created this, and they had, I think it's pretty staggering that nearly 10% of their audience was playing this at peak. And so then, that just deepens the engagement and increases the length of tune. Glee, the Glee project on Oxygen, who is, I think, is a really great experimental network and is really evolving the way they create these complementary television experiences. They did viewing parties that people could set up with their friends to watch. They had an average length of tune online next to the TV show of 17 minutes, which, those of us in the television business, where I come from, staying 17 minutes on one channel is a pretty incredible length of tune. This is something that Jesse's been working on evolving. This is their chatter product that they use for all their shows. I'm sure he'll go into more detail about it. But they started to create, moving over to Facebook Canvas as a complement to what they're doing on the web and in mobile. And so what this allows you to do is, the example that I pulled out was using our Invite API. So you can invite your friends directly from within the app and instantly invite them in to share with you at that moment, so you can catch people who are online. We're seeing a lot of people use their intellectual property to create games. These aren't necessarily complements to live television, but they certainly increase the relationship with the show and the brand. So we're seeing a lot more of this, and I'm aware of some things that are coming down the pike that'll be further pushing along this notion of games using IP for television. And then we're very encouraged by some of the movement that's happening on Facebook Canvas and renting videos or movie films. Warner started with The Dark Knight. They rolled out a bunch of titles, and there's a bunch of other initiatives that are going to be launching relatively soon. I think that the evolution that's going to happen here is from a passive viewing experience to a more active social graph-driven viewing experience. Because really, the benefit of being on Facebook is not a passive viewing. It's about how you bring the social graph to bear within the show. So if you think about Farmville, which I know everybody loves and plays, but there are literally hundreds of millions of people around the world that play. And that's not because they have the most awesome graphics. It's not because they have Tom Clancy written storylines like some of the Xbox games. It's for one simple reason: you can play with your friends. And so it's more compelling for hundreds of millions of people to build a farm next to their friend or to give a tractor as a gift to their friend than it is these intricate, incredibly written and graphically driven storylines. So the friends experience has proven incredibly valuable. So we really feel like that this is the time of experimentation. And there's going to be some real movement and momentum, and we're feeling it now, and we're right in the middle of it. Figuring out how TV with friends can really draw viewing. And it's really simple in that this kind of math I do in my head as I think about it is that if you can get as little as 10% of your audience to invite two friends that they want to watch with and actually recruit them, your ratings go up by 20%. So that's huge in the world of television. So even one viewer gets one friend, and that's a really can drive significant ratings growth. So we feel like we're really well poised for people to use our platform to drive ratings. Thanks.